What's up troops, it's me, TheTacticalBrit, and I'm here today with a Battlefield 1 video, and I've been playing Origin Access, which means I've had about 10 hours access to the game. If I have multiple accounts, which I do, it actually works out to about 30 hours of access to the game, and I've been playing it quite significantly over the past day, and I wanted to give you guys my impressions of Battlefield 1, bearing in mind that this does have some of the modes missing, some of the maps missing, and of course some of the operations missing as well, and obviously it only has like the first 2 to 3 missions of the campaign. And I am really impressed with Battlefield 1. This has got to be like probably the first time I've opened a Battlefield game and I've gone, holy shit, this is going to be amazing, because it was, every experience of it was. So first and foremost, let's talk about the campaign. The campaign was, from what I played, a really standout campaign. It had a good mix between cinematic moments and moments where you had the control and moments where you sort of had to sit back and watch kind of things unfold. And DICE did a very good job of telling a story. The gameplay feels very raw in a sense that, like, you feel the kind of grit of firing the weapons, and the sounds and the sights all come together in a way which puts you in a very immersive state, and I think that was a very good selling point of the campaign thus far. From the missions that I've played, which is obviously Mud and Blood and the other two that are available in the current Origin Access, I have to say it's looking really impressive, and I think a lot of people are actually going to be surprised at what Battlefield can achieve with a campaign when they focus on being Battlefield. The gameplay is very open, it allows you to explore, and it allows you to use elements of Battlefield that should have been there in the first place, like traversable terrain, things like things being blown up, destructible environments. Those are all there that we anticipate from a Battlefield game, but they're being shown off a bit more fluently in the campaign, which I think is very good. Now, bearing in mind the campaign is probably just a more minor segment in the game for most of you, so the rest of this is going to be a focus on multiplayer. As for multiplayer, things are looking really damn good. The map design, I have to say, from the ones I've played, which include like Foul Fortress and Means, they are just damn good. Like, I don't know how, but even like just playing basic Conquest, everything came together in such a fluid way that, you know, you felt like you were there. You felt like you were in some absolute menace of a war, like the war to end all wars. I was playing in a Meads, and some of you guys might see this from the footage. It was one of the most intense matches I've ever had in the Battlefield 1 title. There was explosions popping off everywhere. There was a real struggle for capture points, you know, and even when games weren't going your way or there were landslides in one direction or another, you felt like that, you know, everything was sort of revolving around you and your actions and your squad's actions, and it was really great in that sense, because it was such an awe-inspiring experience playing the multiplayer, because it just, you know, it's kind of, how can I describe it? It's kind of breathtaking at times when, like, you're running down a street in the Means and you just see, like, explosions popping off left, right, and center. You see people getting shot. You're seeing stuff going down pretty much everywhere around you. And it does what most Battlefields haven't been able to do in a long time, and that is to make you feel like you're actually in a war experience. The way the sort of scenery around you just sort of collapses and tumbles as on fire, it's just honestly amazing. Like, the basic games of Conquest that I played didn't feel like the normal Conquest of Battlefield I'm used to. The normal Conquest I'm used to is like not a lot of action going on, then you kind of go into a few capture points, you get a bit of shooting going on there, and then you sort of disappear for a while, and then you might not see some action. This was just an onslaught of pure action and intensity for the entire game, and it was really good to see. Looking at the weapons seem really good as well. I think the starter weapons are probably not everybody's favourite fan. You get like the Lewis gun, the Selragotti, they're not really that great. And I think, you know, it will kind of make you want to push to get the better weapons. Some of the ones I've seen so far, like the Mondragon Storm, the Self-Starter, and probably the Mazdan LMG. Those guns are a standout so far from the ones that I've used thus far. Everything seems relatively balanced on the gun front, however it's quite difficult to tell until all of them have been unlocked and people are using all of them to their best capacities. So we'll have to see how that goes, and I don't think I can give a fair comment on it right now. But in terms of just general balancing, everything does seem really good. Sometimes the behemoths can seem a bit overpowered in some instances, but beyond that, everything's shaping out in a way which seems fair, it seems reasonable, and in terms of bugs, things are also looking like a good start. Like, it's Battlefield, there are going to be bugs, but it's looking like a good start. I've seen some issues with the server browsers so far. I've also seen some issues with the end of round screen where things sort of like start freezing up. I had a weird issue with CPU and GPU spiking, but I think that seems to have sort of resolved itself after I restarted my computer. But as always with any Battlefield title, it's going to throw up some issues, but considering how good the game looks and how well it plays, you know, the fact that there aren't a ton of performance issues was a good surprise. It was like one or two minor issues here or there that were a bit frustrating, and most of them were solved just by closing the game and starting it up again. And, you know, it's going to affect everybody differently, lots of different hardware, thousands of different players. We're going to see how it goes for everybody as a whole, but thus far it's looking really good. So, in conclusion, this might be the best Battlefield game I've played in a long time. I don't know how to describe it to you guys, but it's almost as though, like, every second you play the game, it's an immersive experience. Every second is just action-packed. Every second is just filled with intensity and squad play. And I've noticed a big rise in team play as well. Things like dropping ammo, things like... I've actually been revived like a good 7 times now, which is an amazing feat. Like, that never happened before. No one revived anybody. That was not a thing previously. But things are improving, and a lot of people are playing in team play dynamics, a lot of people are moving together in squads, and it's just coming together really nicely to make what I think to be what could be the best Battlefield title we've played since the days of Bad Company 2. And I know that seems like a bit of a hype factor, I know it's like, oh, you know, you don't know what you're talking about, but when you get in there and you start playing it yourself, I think you guys will see what I'm talking about in terms of just how fun, just how intense, and just how huge this game can really be. So guys, that's it for me today. It's been me, TheTacticalBrit. I'll bring you more videos soon on Battlefield 1. I also have a big drop of Titanfall 2 content coming your way very soon. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon with another video.